Well, the Timberwolves just lost Game 2 to the Mavericks thanks to Luka Doncic hitting a game-winning 3 over Rudy Gobert, putting the Mavs up 2-0 in this series. So we got to break it all down, but first, Wolves back.
Howl, beat up game, boy.
All right, by now we all know what happened in the fourth quarter. Okay, Luka Doncic happened. He obviously hit the game-winning shot over Rudy Gobert. But before that, there was a lot of basketball that was played, so we got to break that all down and recap that, okay? So just some quick notes from the first half. I thought the Mavericks really struggled to score in the half court. When they didn't get out in transition, when they couldn't get on a fast break, when they weren't scoring points off turnovers, the Timberwolves were sitting down and they were defending pretty well. The Mavs were missing some decent looks, but for the most part, I thought the Wolves had much more energy on defense than game 1. They didn't bail on their defensive game plan from game 1. They were still sending 2 to the ball most of the night, but the help defenders were much better at recovering and rotating, and there wasn't as many open looks for the Mavs. And for the offense, it was really running through mostly Mike Conley and then Anthony Edwards. Conley hit a couple of big threes. He got downhill on a couple floaters. Ant was also getting downhill. He was way more aggressive than he was in game 1, which is good, but he also wasn't really converting. And even though he only shot 3 of 11 from the floor, he still finished the half with 13 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists, but his overall aggression was at least a positive takeaway for the first half anyways. Cat was also aggressive, and at times I thought he was over-aggressive. We got some of the stray voltage drives where Cat just barrels into the paint with no foreseen plan. He just barrels into 2 or 3 defenders, had some turnovers, but I mean, I guess at least he was being aggressive. He was also 3 of 11 at the half. He had 9 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and it was really Mike Conley and Naz Reid that had the best performances on the offensive end in the first half. Naz was a perfect 4 for 4 from 3. He had 12 points. Mike Conley also had 12, and them playing so efficiently was a big reason that they jumped out to an 18-point lead, but then Dallas started chipping away at it. I believe they got it down to 10 at one point, and then they went into the half 60-48, so Minnesota was clinging on to a 12-point lead. And that was when the Mavs started pick and rolling the Wolves to death. So jumping into the third here, Cat hits the 3 off the flare screen by Rudy Gobert. PJ Washington gets by Cat here, hits the tough floater, and it was just the Luka Doncic show, honestly. Gafford sets the screen, he slips it, Cat gets caught in no man's land. He's probably overhelping on the corner. Gafford's open. Luka, great pass, hits him for 2. Luka going to work again here, just gets past Jaden McDaniels, gets him on his hip and finishes. Ant hits the tough pull-up here, and it was really one of the only times we saw him convert in the mid-range. And then right here, just an offensive masterclass from the Mavericks. Josh Green sets the screen right here. Derek Lively looks like he's going to set another screen, but he slips to the basket. And again, Luka looks away Cat. He's out of position. He's overhelping in the corner. He hits Derek Lively down low. Easy 2 points. So it's 71-65 here. Jaden hits this tough pull-up. Luka turns it over here. Cat hits Nikhil with the outlet, and he finishes with the left. And at this point, it was a 10-point game, so it looked like the Wolves were rebuilding that lead that they had established and kind of blown. And then Luka makes the defense collapse. He kicks it out. Josh Green hits the 3, and this made it a 5-point game. So with the Mavs down 5, Kyrie breaks down the defense. He kicks it out to Hardy. He hits the tray ball, 2-point game. And this is just too easy. Hardy attacks the paint, lobs it up to Gafford. Nikhil drives in again, makes it a 4-point game. Kyrie going to work on Ant, kisses it off the glass. Rudy Gobert travels to France and back, gets this one to go, puts the Wolves up 4. And then this was big. At the end of the third quarter, Ant hits Naz for the 3 to make it a 7-point game going into the fourth. So the Wolves were able to recapture some momentum here, but just weren't able to sustain it. Kyrie squares up Mike Conley, drills the 3 right in his face. That cuts it to 4. And then PJ Washington gets the deep post on Mike Conley, turns shoulder off the glass. 2-point game. Ant turns the ball over here, and then another cold-blooded 3 from Kyrie in Naz's face. Dallas takes a 1-point lead. Ant goes to work here off the pick and roll, kicks it out to Naz for the 3. And speaking of collapsing the defense, Kyrie gets around Jaden and Rudy, and then Gafford is wide open. And then again, Naz wide open left wing, hits the tray ball, puts the Wolves up 2. Naz has 21 points at this point. He's 7 of 8 from 3 at this point in the game. Then Luka gets Kyle Anderson on his hip, flips it up to Gafford again. I mean, how many times did we see the lob for Dallas in this game? It was unreal. Gafford gets the block on the Conley pull-up 3. Luka launches it down to him. Gafford just drank a fifth of Fireball, shoves Mike Conley, stumbles, and hits the layup. Naz Reid responds with a dunk on the other end. Then Rudy Gobert finishes the dunk here off the Jaden McDaniels pass. Ant attacks, and this put the Wolves up 3, so it was 100-97 at this point. Then Kyrie just goes to work on Naz, loses the ball, but flips it up to Derek Lively, who's able to finish, and this is a 1-point game now, 100-99. Mike Conley with the little righty floater. And then again, Luka going to work. Flips it up to Derek Lively. Probably could have finished the lob. He just mishandled it. Comes down with it. Finishes anyway. Dallas is up 1. Mike Conley gets the dribble penetration. Great screen here by Rudy. He's able to finish. Wolves up 1. 2 minutes left. Ant's attacking. He gets fouled. Hits both free throws. Puts the Wolves up by 3 with a little under 2 minutes to go. Wolves get the ball back. Ant goes to work again. Gets fouled on the pass, but the Wolves are in the bonus. Ant hits both free throws, so the Wolves are up 108-103 with a little over a minute to go in this game. Then right here, there's some confusion with the Wolves sending 2 at the ball. They get out of position. The rotations are off. Luka makes the right play, finds Kyrie in the corner. Cold-blooded 3 to cut the game to 2 with a minute left. Then fast forwarding here, the Wolves are up 2, 20 seconds left. They have a chance to put the game away. It looks like they wanted this switch on Derek Lively. So Ant gets Derek Lively in an ISO situation. He drives in, but he picks up his dribble for whatever reason, forces a pass to Nas, miscommunication, goes out of bounds. Dallas ball, 13 seconds left. Then they get the switch onto Rudy Gobert, and this right here is just inexcusable. I don't care if you give up the dunk to Derek Lively. You cannot leave Rudy Gobert on Luka Doncic. We all know what happens. Step back 3, right in the face. Boom, puts the Mavs up 1 with 3 seconds left. The Wolves actually had a great ATO here. Ant gets the ball, he goes downhill, kicks it to Nas on the corner, fires up the 3, rattles in and out. Tough break for the Wolves. So the Mavs walk away with a W, 109-108. They go back to Dallas up 2, and this is a huge game. And I know some people are going to point to various things as to why the Wolves dropped this one. Some people are going to blame the refs. Look, you can blame the refs all you want to, but I'm telling you, this game is 100% on Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. There is no reason why Cat, your max player, your second best offensive weapon, is sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter, not in foul trouble. No, he's sitting on the bench because someone else is outplaying him, because you can't trust him on offense or defense. Anthony Edwards, this is his 3rd terrible offensive performance in a row. This is definitely one of the worst Ant performances in recent memory, probably his worst playoff game that I've ever seen. And I mean, you have to ask the question, is the moment too big for him? He's just 22 years old. This is his 3rd time in the playoffs. It's the first time that he's advanced past the first round, first time in the Western Conference Finals. Is the moment too big for him? Are the lights too bright? We don't know for sure. Is he injured? Don't know. And all of that really is just speculation. Nobody can know that for sure. The only objective thing that we can look at is the film, and it's very clear that the Dallas Mavericks defense is posing way more problems for Anthony Edwards than Phoenix did and that Denver did. They're not allowing him to get downhill. Their bigs are playing down to the basket. They have 2 giant human beings in Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. In the Phoenix series and the Denver series, Jokic and Nurkic were playing up more. There was more room for Ant to get downhill. Well, there's not that in this Dallas series. And so Ant's gonna have to figure out how to maneuver in the mid-range, in the short mid-range in particular. And we all know that he doesn't really have a float game in his bag yet. But look, that's something that he's gonna need to develop. I'm not expecting him to develop it overnight, but the Wolves have to figure out some kind of counterpunch. And his struggles get compounded when Cat isn't providing you anything on offense either. In Game 7 against the Nuggets, Ant shot 6 of 24 from the field, but Cat had one of his best playoff performances that he's ever had in his career, and so he kind of bailed them out. Well, in this one, it was Naz Reid who was bailing them out, and he was really the only guy that showed up throughout the entire game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker couldn't hit a 3. Jaden McDaniels, after having another 20-point playoff performance, he came back down to earth, and he finished the game with 2 points. That's just insane. I know he's out there for his defensive prowess, but look, Luka Doncic is still cooking, and I'm not knocking Jaden for that. Luka's one of the best players that this game has seen on the offensive side of the ball. But for Jaden to go 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, you need more out of him. If Ant's gonna struggle, you need more. And I know there's a lot of series left, but look, when you're down 0-2 and you're going on the road, Game 3 is absolutely a must-win game. We have never seen a team in NBA history go down 3-0 and come back and win the series. So if the Wolves drop Game 3, history tells us this series is over. But if you're looking for a silver lining here, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns have gone AWOL in Games 1 and 2, yet they've lost by a combined 4 points. So if you're trying to be positive, you can say, well, If Ant or Cat gave them literally anything, they probably could have won either, if not both of those games. You can also point to the fact that for whatever reason, the Wolves have been a much better road playoff team than they've been at home this year. They're also the only team to not lose 3 games in a row during the regular season. They obviously dropped 3 in a row to Denver. That was the first time they did it all season long when you include the postseason. Will they do that again in Dallas? If they do, their season's probably over, but if they don't, the series gets interesting. You put a little bit of pressure on Dallas if it goes 2-1. Who knows? Maybe they can even the series up. I probably wouldn't bet on that, but I also don't really want to bet against a team that's proven time and time again this year that they respond well with their backs against the wall. They came out and won by 45 against the Nuggets in Game 6, an elimination game. Then they went and won Game 7 on their home floor. So anything is possible. I'm not saying it's over yet, but I am saying it's not looking good. There's a lot of basketball left to be played, but look, all the pressure is on the Wolves for Game 3. They're going to have to come out desperate. They have to come out hungry, and Ant and Cat have to give you something on offense. They have to give you something. Even if Ant can't get downhill as much as he could in the Phoenix and Denver series, if he can at least remain aggressive and get to the line, and then Cat provides you literally anything on offense, I think the Wolves can pull out a win in Game 3, and then we'll see what happens the rest of the series. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's very possible. It's not like the Mavs have blown the Wolves out by 15, 20 points both games. These are close games that went down to the wire. And I know that most people are going to look at this and go, oh, the Mavs just won 2 games in Minnesota. The series is over. Well, like I said, the Wolves have been a better road team. So I'm not ready to say the series is over. With all that being said, though, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is the series over? Do the Wolves have a chance? Let me know, and I'll see you after Game 3. But until then, Wolves back.